fast. It's really having a problem. I just need to cut out a piece of myself.
It's definitely streaming.
I'd wait a couple minutes.
Right.
Just to kind of get people on. I didn't see it on the page yet. Okay, there it is.
Probably just got a notification.
No, it's zoomed in. I don't know why the fuck it's doing that. I didn't see it on the page yet.
I don't have to work for now.
I don't know. I didn't
We'll have to figure it out.
I didn't get it to come up on mine yet.
Finger it right at it.
What? Oh, you're on Facebook. Okay.
Should be on. Says it's streaming to YouTube now.
We got one.
Yep.
Oh, I'm the one here.
And YouTube.
Oh, there we go. Now I just got the YouTube. Just want to see the comments.
Where do you see viewers on this screen? Oh, wow, okay.
Then where's the chats right here? I'll wait for somebody to come in.
At least, what if we just sit here for like 12 minutes?
Are you still watching? Yeah, you're still.
No, I'm getting off.
Oh, we got 2 people now on Facebook. There it is. Somebody's on YouTube as well.
Nice.
That's probably me.
Yeah.
We got one viewer on
No,
YouTube.
I left Facebook.
He's on YouTube.
What are you on? You're seeing both of them, are you on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see like who it is or no? Oh, there's 3 now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll show you exactly who's doing.
No. Oh, who cares?
All right. Chat's open, you guys. If there's any video or audio quality, please let me know. But
I'm gonna stay on here. I'm gonna stay on YouTube. So you monitor both, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I both chats.
Okay, so going live. We're gonna try this out. Welcome to the RawDawgers Sportscast. I'm Sean Watson.
I'm Ryan Kessler.
I'm Brandon Painter.
Guys, I'm about to go into a state of depression. Football season is over. Super Bowl 57.
Great Super Bowl.
Bro, you got the XFL started.
I know.
Well,
Well, you got the USFL too, right?
It's still bad.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's
It's
true.
wild. They did a bunch of advertising like during the Super Bowl for
It was.
USFL.
Is there a partnership there?
There has to be.
There has to be.
I would think.
Why would they
for
even
them to
allow that?
advertise at the Super Bowl?
Right, right. Well, let's get right into it. Super Bowl 57, like I said, Chiefs 38, Eagles 35. Eagles led at the half, 24-14. What were you thinking at the half? I was thinking it's just the train's just going to keep rolling.
I thought KC was lucky to be in
Yeah,
that
I
close.
was too, because they had that scoop and score,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that they were definitely lucky to be in it. And then you have something like that, and then you start to think, oh, okay, Kansas City's going to stay in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, just something like that. It's like watching Brady over and over.
It started quick. They both scored first series. And
They did.
I'm just like, okay, this is going to be a shootout.
Yeah. Philly leading the game in many categories, time of possession, first down, yardage, but they ended up letting the Chiefs score 24 in the second half, including the game-winning field goal.
Scored on every possession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No sacks for the Eagles.
Yes.
I couldn't believe
I
that.
had that in there too, but
They didn't really even get pressure on him, honestly, either.
He's just squirmy little dude. It's hard to, and that's game plan for the game, really.
Yeah. Well, and they have a solid offensive line too.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were. Philly's been wreaking havoc all year.
Yeah.
Against good offensive lines.
Jalen Hurts over 300 yards. How good did Hurts look to you?
He's
amazing.
everybody's on Mahomes' dick, but Hurts was the better quarterback in that whole game.
I agree with that. You got 300 yards passing. Mahomes had 183.
Yeah.
But the difference, though, I think, was the fact that Mahomes spread it around, and I'm sure that was part of it.
Yeah, because Hurts had, 75 rushing or something?
Yeah, it was 70. He had 70 rushing.
3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 rushing. Tying the NFL record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And the octopus.
Yeah. Yes. We'll get into that. So. A.J. Brown with another touchdown score, a long pass from Hurts there. because I think McDuffie was covering him, wasn't he?
I think so.
So I
Just kinda
really
lost where the ball was.
I was really on Devontae Smith pretty hard. I mean, on the
He
Eagles
should have
side.
scored. He just kind of
He
went out
did.
of bounds.
Yeah, he did right there. Yeah, that pissed me off too. You're bringing that up again. Thanks a lot. Kelsey, the spread around for Mahomes. Kelsey, Kadarius Toney, big factor on that punt return in the second half. Almost got it into the end zone. I think, who was it? I think it was Sean Payton that tweeted that out. I heard about that the other day, basically talking about during the game how much an advantage Kansas City's special teams were
Yeah.
in this game. Of course,
Bucker misses that kick, though.
right.
is-
And I thought about that. Great point.
I clapped so hard because that made me win
Right.
$100.
Oh, were you on that one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first
As you said, you lucky
first
bastard.
quarter. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
As soon as he's lining up, because there was like 50-some seconds left. I'm like, I'm gonna get this. And then they had like another. I think Pacheco had a big rush and got him down in.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the board. No, I thought you were talking about the doink kick there. No, you're talking
Yeah.
about winning the square.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
right.
That
first
was the doink
quarter.
kick.
That was the doink. I needed it, and he.
Right.
I was so pumped.
Only it wasn't like a $10,000 board.
Yeah, I think Juju, say what you want about him, definitely in the second half was key, especially in the fourth quarter. Pachenko getting a touchdown, that guy's just an absolute,
He's
had
fun
a
to
day.
watch.
He
he's
had a
just an
day.
absolute animal. And they were talking about, I guess there's a dance called the Philly Gritty now. That was
Just
like part of his
sloppier,
dance.
gritty.
It's definitely sloppier, and it's like
Smells like cheesesteak.
yeah. It's like when you go and you have to spend $100 on a hooker, but you go to Philly and get one for $5.
Yeah,
It's like that.
just cheaper.
So cheap. So the Eagles, let's get into them a little bit. Do you feel like maybe the Eagles abandoned the run game a little too early?
They just used Hurts instead.
They did, and he
running
was the
back.
leading rusher.
Yeah.
I saw, and I wasn't sure about this, but I guess Miles Sanders, and that really pissed me off too because I had him in some
A lot of
bets, a
people
lot of bets. I think it was 54.5, which, I think I stayed away from that, but I think I did have him anytime touchdown scorer,
Yeah.
and he had like 16 yards.
Their,
Go ahead.
Their run game outside of Hurts wasn't doing anything really. The Chiefs were swarming to the ball. They couldn't get
Yeah.
much to happen at all.
Yeah, because I mean, you just saw a lot of Gainwell there,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that he got hurt.
It was like the first play of the game. They gave the ball to Sanders, and he had like a hole.
Yeah.
Then he like bitched out and tried to break it out again.
Yeah.
And then got blew up and fumbled the ball out of bounds. I think Sirianni was like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
fuck that, you're out.
Well, come to find, what I was reading today though, he actually was injured on that play. I'm not sticking up for Miles Sanders. He is a Penn State guy, so piss on that. But he.
Well, that makes sense. I didn't see him in the game really after
Right.
that first play. It just seemed like that was like, all right, dude, you're not gonna
Right.
hold on to the ball here.
Right.
That first touchdown was a whirlwind for like bettors because
Yeah, well,
Lawson Scott.
Yeah,
almost
let's
punched it
talk
in.
about that a little bit.
Then Gainwell's there, goes down at the 3-inch line, and then Hurts just sharks a touchdown.
Yes. Of course, I wasn't disappointed at that at the time because I had Hurts in there as anytime touchdown scorer. But I mean, you could hear like Kenneth Gainwell, first touchdown scorer betters.
Oh yeah.
It sounded like the Death Star getting blown up. Or
I was in.
Or
I was in a room with two of them.
what was the
They were
planet?
pissed.
No, it wasn't that. It was the planet Tatooine or something got blown up by the Death Star. Obi-Wan's over there. Millions of Kenneth Gainwell cried out in horror. That's not the first thing I thought of. The Eagles run, I thought that was, the other big thing was Andy Reid. Was he just too much? Was it too much of a coaching advantage?
It's after the half for sure.
Yeah.
He had his deep. They scored 24 in the first half. I mean,
Yeah.
their defense still shut down the run.
Yeah.
They scored on a bomb to AJ.
Yeah, they
and
did.
then that Devontae should have been. touchdown.
Well, and Philly was just like 4 yards,
Yeah.
3 yards, 2 yards, 4th down, let's go for it.
Yeah.
It just
Just wearing off. But you can tell after half the adjustments they made, just on they threw 2 touchdowns to dudes with nobody within 30 yards.
Right.
That's a coach taking advantage of them.
How they were
Playing
rolling their
coverage,
coverage.
rolling their safeties over top,
Right.
and leaving the dude wide open.
Well, the other thing too, what I thought about was because you saw Kelsey with a lot of catches in the first half. I'm like, yeah, we're going to hit the over on that for sure. Then he ended up having like 1 in the second half.
Yeah.
And I think going back to my previous point, when we're talking about the game plan changing, especially on the offensive side of the ball, like maybe Reid was throwing that wrinkle in there, like we're not going to go to Kelsey as much.
Yeah.
We're going to start spreading the ball around because we know that you're going to zone in on Kelsey. And not that Kelsey would care. He had a little bit of a back injury there too, but I don't think he wasn't going to come out of that game. But I think that right there on the offensive side of the ball was definitely a change that
Big time.
he threw into the second half.
Yeah.
That helped him out. Of course, we talked about the special teams.
Well,
But
and KC just didn't really have the ball in the first half.
yeah, that's true too.
The
But I
time
mean,
of possession in the first half was crazy.
it was.
It ended up plus 12 minutes for the Eagles. I think that's the most a team has led time of possession in a Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah. Well, another point I wanted to bring up too, because we talked about this earlier in the season when the playoffs started, and that was one of the ones that I threw out in the group chat, was no passing leaders ever won the Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. And just like you guys said, well, records are made to be broken. And it's true, it did happen. It's 57 Super Bowls now. It's never happened.
Right.
Until Mahomes. So
I mean, that win doesn't come without Andy Reid, though. It's not like Mahomes did anything crazy.
yeah.
He really didn't. He had 100.
He threw some dots, but
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
did. Yeah, he could rip it. For sure.
But they won because of a fumble, touchdown, and then a gigantic punt return.
Well, and he also had that long run too. I mean, that really
That was
helped
kind of
Kansas
funny.
City. That
Watching
really
him
helped
turn
their
around.
cause. Yeah, that really definitely.
That play
helped
made
cause.
Hassan Reddick look wildly slow.
Yeah, it did.
Just his running form is hilarious.
Yeah. He looks like a little kid that's just better than everybody on the playground.
Right.
Just kind of skirting around, moving perfectly, but not very fast. It's like the opposite of Lamar, but he still doesn't get tackled.
Right. Eagles defense, you brought this up too, Brandon. 0 sacks.
Yeah.
So they had 70 sacks during the regular season, 0 sacks in this game. They only had 1 tackle for loss. Think about that.
That's game plan. That's Andy Reid.
That's Andy
You
Reid.
gave him 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was.
Sucks for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Andy Reid coming off a bye. That's always been the thing. Or 2
That's
weeks.
cheeseburgers and football. That's what Andy Reid
That's
does.
what he's all about. It. I want to talk about this too. The turf conditions. Wanted to get into that a little bit. Apparently, the field is slid out every morning at State Farm Stadium. It's on some kind of track with rollers, like 500 and some rollers. It takes a good 70 minutes, I guess, for the track to get rolled out in the desert sun. They water it down, and then it goes back in every evening. So, but come to find out that the NFL, in their wisdom here, because this has been a big thing with the turf.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about field conditions. Everything you see is turf tears ACLs. Everybody pitches about it.
Yeah.
Now you get grass and people slip and everybody's pissed.
Right.
Like, what the fuck do you want?
So
Well,
here's,
they painted the fuck out of that field.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
they
for
did.
sure.
Did it seem like it? That's a great point. Did it seem like it was excessive paint? There was a lot of
That
paint.
could. I mean, just thinking like what could physically happen to the field, that could make sense because you have just a dry, crusted layer,
Yeah.
and then no moisture can escape. So it could be wet as fuck right under where it's painted.
Well, and here I read this
Should have
article.
been painted last week, and then
Yeah.
you water it and you do all that.
Right.
shit.
I read last week, or sorry, not last week. I read in that same article that it's actually in 40 inches of sod, like 40 inches.
Damn.
So we're talking
Yeah.
like this. So you're rolling out there. So here's my thought about it. Going back to the NFL and their infinite wisdom, decide you're rolling this grass out every day. It's coming back in on Wednesday before the Super Bowl. They decided to stop rolling it out in the morning. Okay, so you have that condensation because they had to build some extra bleachers at the end.
So it took away their
ability to roll it out from Wednesday to Sunday. So the only thing I was thinking was, could this be kind of like a Tupperware effect? So you have leftovers, right? You put it in a Tupperware container, you put it in your fridge for a day or two, all the moisture sticks to the top of the Tupperware.
And on the paint, it's a crusted layer, and you can't escape. It makes a lot of sense,
right?
I mean, really.
So we saw this though too. Was it a major issue? I mean, we saw it. The 3/4 inch spikes, and
they bring equipment for that.
And they do, but there was a time in the game where they over in the corner, or they panned to this pile of different pile of cleats of different ones. I can't remember what team it was.
I think it was the Eagles.
Yeah, definitely a lot of slipping on both sides of the ball. You saw it during the replays too. At least one play showing multiple Eagles defenders slipping.
Mm-hmm.
There's
one kickoff.
Yeah, I have that down too. Yeah, Jake Elliott almost injuring his plant foot on a kickoff.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he biffed it for sure.
Yeah, and when you watch that,
gathers.
I watched the slow mo. Yeah, he definitely could have broke that ankle.
Yeah. Well, if it was turf, yeah, that would have caught his shit, and he would have.
Yeah.
I get that you're a lot more sure-footed on turf, but then you get the crazy athletes pivoting and blowing knees out.
Well, and then you brought this up too. You're like, I don't want to hear about the turf. You know, I had to bring up this segment because everybody's talking about it. It was definitely an issue, but what do we do?
It's to me, it's an issue for both teams. So why is it even being talked about?
Yeah,
you've both played the same field. You both went each way twice.
Right. I just didn't know this. So
the Chinaman is not the issue.
when you're running your practices for the Super Bowl, though, and let's say the game is out, and was the turf an issue? Is the NFL put those bleachers in on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure you're having run-throughs, maybe not full pad run-throughs that are going through. You know, that's going along at that time.
They each got the field once, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Was that what it was?
And then they probably painted after that.
Right. So that was probably earlier in the week. I'm just thinking all that condensation at the top probably definitely could have made a big difference. And you know, you said, yeah, it was the same for both teams, and I get that. The only thing I'm thinking of is when you're having a defensive team and they're trying to get off and come at that offensive line or that quarterback. And then they're slipping. So Hassan Reddick.
Definitely a factor.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick basically stating after the game that it was basically the worst field he'd ever played on.
Right.
He didn't go to Madison.
Yeah. Then left tackle Jordan Mailata also stated the footing was like being in a water park, and that kind of goes back to my whole thing with the top work.
That's a bit fucking extreme.
It probably is.
Well, to me it was
grass field.
To me it was the worst is when they were on the actual like painted areas.
Yeah. There was 3 giant painted areas.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I don't know if I've ever seen this much paint.
They were churching it up.
I mean, what do you think the NFL is going to do? Of course, this was a unique situation because it's not like there's a lot of stadiums where they're rolling out turf and it's actual real grass and then rolling it back in. So, are we just going to go with the turf that has the rubber pellets?
You can have a grass field. You just don't water it all week, and if it looks brown, you just spray it green.
Yeah. You could, then it'd be hard as a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Then you just tell everybody, just wear track shoes.
Playing on Madison's practice field now.
All of the potholes.
All of the shin splints.
Oh, man.
I think what happened, honestly, is I think Rihanna did a walkthrough and her water kind of broke out there a little bit. Just flooded the field.
They were talking about that too, I believe, in the same story was after halftime, then it got worse. It even got worse. So I don't know how that happened with all the suspended platforms and all that happened.
I guess there was a bunch of dancers on the ground.
Yeah, there was.
Zeke Elliott's down there.
Well,
crop tops.
I don't know how that started. I mean, did they start with those platforms on the ground themselves?
I don't think so.
No, were they completely suspended the whole time? And she
I think so.
elevated herself, levitated herself to the platform, or how'd that work? How'd
I
it go?
thought she was hooked up to the one.
She was always on the platform,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, all right.
She was always
Even when the
hooked
show started.
Yeah.
All right.
But there was a fuckload of people like on the ground dancing. They like lowered the platforms down,
Yeah.
and there was 150 dudes down there.
Yeah, it looked like Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if Kyler Murray was inside of one of those
He
suits.
probably was.
The pass interference call, another big issue, probably the biggest issue after the Super Bowl. How big of a penalty call? 3rd and 9, defensive holding call on Barnwell on Juju Smith-Schuster. What do you think? Referee's not calling that all game. I actually thought the refs really let them play.
Which was good. There was a bunch of shit, both first drives. They just let them play.
Right. And I agree.
That's the way it should be officiated all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like that call in that spot at all.
No, I don't either.
But the Juju one was pass interference.
I mean, I agree it was pass interference,
Yeah.
and you could have called that. Okay. My other problem with that play and rewatching it was that ball catchable?
Well, he was
He's not
holding
being held,
him. It was
probably.
holding, wasn't pass interference.
Yeah, yes, defensive holding, right.
Because
Correct.
he held him twice, and even Bradbury said, "Yeah, I held him."
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
said he thought he was going to let it slide because
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
they've been
Yes,
letting
he
it
did.
slide all game.
He did. He did.
I hate the call there. I don't think that what that call
It wasn't
robbed
the wrong
us-
call.
What it robbed us of was seeing if
Yeah.
Hurts could go win the game.
Yes.
Because they still were well within field goal range. They were going to go up by 3.
Right.
But
Right.
all in all, that was the best officiated game I've watched all
Yeah.
season.
Mhm.
For sure. They let
Any
them
team.
play.
And it was
That's-
good.
I hate that call.
I hate that
it's
call.
just-
I'm with
it
you on
just-
that.
It fucked the end of the game.
Yeah.
And like I said, nobody's talking about, this is just my own thoughts, nobody's talking about was that ball catchable or not. I mean, I get it's a hold.
I don't think Mahomes is throwing that bad of a ball there. It's not like he threw it out of bounds.
No. But we're
But
talking,
it's
Juju just
holding.
wasn't
It's
there.
not
I know it's
interference.
holding. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. You're
It
right.
doesn't matter if it's catchable.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Because he was all over him.
You're right.
It wasn't to the point of, at that point in the game, you got to call it that way.
Well, and I didn't think he was all over him.
He had two kind. One,
There was two
I
spots
guess,
in that
isn't
route where he was holding.
because the way he ran his route, he was around the line of scrimmage
Right.
pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
But
I
he
just-
held on to it. He tugged on him. He wrapped him once and then held on
Yeah.
him once.
Yeah. All right. I think definitely that, Andy Reid, we're going back to the coaching, definitely took advantage of that situation.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Got down.
He knew he won the game, right?
Yeah, and I
As
think
soon as that
everybody
play
kind of
came
knew it was too. You would have actually kind of had a miracle because what do they have? 9 seconds left by the time they got the ball back.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Eagles.
After,
Well, it was like 4 seconds or 5.
Yeah, and what and the fact that, and I don't know what you're going to do in that situation. Obviously, you're not going to have some kind of setup like Dallas did. Okay, because we know what happened there. But
Well, no, Sanders was injured, so he couldn't.
Right.
yeah, that's true. Boston
Well,
Scott, he would just been part of the field.
I think he either slipped on trying to chuck it or just freaking cocked it too much. Like I've done it where you try to throw it so hard and it just doesn't come out
Right.
good.
Right,
I mean, you're just in a shitty situation.
you are.
It's
If they would have had like 30 seconds, even without a timeout, they probably would have went and got in range for a field goal, even if it was
I
going to be
would
like a
love to
60 yarder.
just see what Hurts was going to do with it. To
Right.
See,
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the
Here's your
biggest.
chance now.
It fucked us all out of seeing like an amazing ending of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been
Of
a lot of
otherwise
those
really
like
good game.
letdown type automatic first downs this year, which is stupid. It makes you literally feel like there's, with Vegas betting, like that shit is happening because of that. Because they can essentially end the game
Yeah.
by throwing that flag.
Yeah.
That's the way it could be
That's
scripted.
Again,
honestly.
that's why they should be like full-time employees. There should be
Yeah.
a look under 2 minutes in any game, not just the Super Bowl. You got to let them play a little bit.
Yeah.
Like let the better guy fucking win.
Yeah, but it wasn't even under 2 minutes
I
at that
fucking
point.
hate-
Well, there was
Yeah, it
like
was-
3 minutes. I thought it was like 3 minutes and some.
No, it was under
No, it was
2
a
minutes.
minute
Yeah.
58.
Oh, was it?
When
Was
that
it
play
past
went
2 minute
off.
warning? Okay, my bad there.
Well,
All right.
because and then the Eagles didn't have any timeouts after that, right?
No.
Or they had
No, they
quarters.
didn't. They
They had
didn't
no
have any
timeouts.
timeouts. I do know that. So
A first down ended it, and they got
Yeah.
Third first down by way of a penalty.
Kyle Cremines, Bengals Cowboys Super Bowl 58. Mark it down.
I don't know. I don't
Who
think
says that? Who is
Kyle, I'm sorry. I don't think the Cowboys are going to
Bengals
get
fan.
there.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I can see the Bengals. Yeah.
You a Cowboys fan or a Bengals fan or what?
He's a Bengals fan.
You a Bengals fan?
Kind of.
Jesse Boyd, how many cheeseburgers Andy Reid put down after that Super Bowl? That's the real bet I wanted to make on DraftKings. Well, is it the amount of cheeseburgers or the poundage?
Yeah.
Because he definitely had a couple.
I'm sure there's somewhere in Arizona that has a 1 pound patty burger.
He
went and got it.
He probably just got like 6 Whoppers and just scarfed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking love Andy Reid. Did I ever share that meme I seen about Andy Reid when he drafted Clyde? About
the eclair or whatever.
Yeah, he said, I thought it said 5 chocolate eclairs. When he drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I think I saw that too. That was good. Let's go ahead and get into, of course, the betting. We've really been hammering on the betting quite a bit. A lot of chatter out there about the quote-unquote script of the NFL. You know, I saw people, talking about it. I think there was one I saw, it was like 37-34 Eagles.
Yeah,
Everybody's talking about. Here's my problem with the script. And yes, it ended up, 38-35.
How do you script Jalen Hurts fumbling like that?
Yeah. Well, so my biggest...
I think that if it could happen, it would happen by way of the over-under on the total.
Well,
that's about it.
That's what I just
Because
had
that's
down
exactly what could happen at the end of the game if the refs know that they need they need the Chiefs to lock this up. Bingo, there's their first down.
Right.
It could easily happen.
On the over, and that's what I was going to bring up. So the over/under was 50.5. I think it might have settled there. Maybe did you see 51s out there at all?
It was in the 40s to start, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was like 48.
Because I remember talking about it last week. It was super low.
It was getting bet up. I think it might have settled like 50.5 at game time. Here's my thought on this. So you have the over/under, and it was going to get. If Vegas thinks that they could put the over/under, and think about this. If they get more people to bet on it, and may even making a higher over/under, then they would have done it.
Yeah.
If this is actually scripted, they're greedy.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
Why ended up at 73?
Right. Why wouldn't, if it was scripted, why wouldn't Vegas put the over/under at like 59 or something, or 60, and even get even more people to bet the under?
Oh, for sure. I don't think it's scripted because all this shit just started coming out. I think it's people in Ohio. Because conveniently, when sports betting comes out in Ohio, the NFL is scripted. I think it's just because that's the only state that got it.
Yeah.
Since.
Yeah.
So.
But the betting's been around
forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And I think the only way it could happen if it did is just you pick a team to win with the points.
Yeah.
And that's how they can manipulate it. Because I have to help my dad every week do bets. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, that's the bet you're making. You're picking who you think is going to win.
Yeah, I mean, most bettors.
So that's probably what the most money's on, for sure.
Right. Most bettors aren't real savvy.
No, I have to go over every time to help him with his bet because he has no idea what he's doing.
And the other thing is, too, on the over-unders, for the most part, the public generally likes to bet the over.
Oh, yeah,
They just do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
especially nowadays.
Right.
It's just the way the sports felt. Jesse Boyd, if that's the case, I think the Haslams need to mortgage every pilot station to get the Browns to the Super Bowl. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
He can file Chapter 11 and,
easily. Fuck all those truckers.
Personally, on a personal note, I was going to talk to you about how everybody else did. Miles Sanders definitely a letdown for me, and then we talked about Kelsey and not hitting the over on the receptions.
Just what, 7.5?
Yeah, I think it was 7.5 is what it settled at.
Or 6.
Yeah, it was 6. Yeah.
Did he get 6 catches or 7?
6. I think it might have been 6. I think I betted it early in the week though,
and he had like 4 on the first drive.
I think everybody had a Kelsey anytime touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And they just got that out of there quick.
Yeah, they did.
Goddamn right, Boyd.
What's Boyd saying?
So the pilots don't sell beer anyhow, so we don't need that negativity in our lives.
Oh, they don't sell beer at Pilot?
No.
What's that all about? I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't know. It's probably from his days in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right, so the octopus bet hit. That's kind of been a new term. It paid plus 1,400. We talked about it last week. Only 6 successful octopus attempts have ended with a successful octopus, I guess.
Well, now
Which
Hurts had 2 of the other ones, right?
he had one. I know he had one, and Mahomes had one, and I talked about it last week. So basically, what that bet is any player to score a touchdown then
Also gets the 2-point
also
conversion.
has to get the 2-point conversion.
Can he throw the 2-point conversion, or he has to run it in?
He has to. Yep.
Yeah, that's a hell of a bet.
Or you could have a running back. Let's say Miles Sanders scores a touchdown, and then he also runs in the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
That also qualifies.
So it's
for
a lot
that.
more practical running back or rushing quarterback.
Yeah, but plus 1,400. I actually thought
The odds should be a lot better.
I thought they'd be a lot bigger for that too.
Just because it doesn't happen that often.
No, but you had 2 out of 6. 2 out of the 6 happened from the 2 quarterbacks in this game. So, I mean, I guess I could maybe see that a little bit. Hurts though. I mean, how many times? To kind of go with this, I want to talk about this a little bit though. How many times did he sneak and get a first down, or at the goal line?
That's just a game now.
Well, they had.
I mean, but it was just like they had no answer for it. There's one time where
They have-
Jones
they have-
jumped over the top.
They have 3 All-Pro offensive linemen.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
Kelsey.
almost no answer for a 1-yard QB sneak.
Yeah,
Because the snap count, you get the jump.
right.
All you have.
Chris Jones even tried jumping
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was talking about.
And you can have 2 people behind you just pushing, untouched people behind you.
I
Pushing.
think that's one thing that they should.
You shouldn't have to. You
On
shouldn't
a
be able to
sneak.
get pushed.
On a
Yeah.
sneak, you should be able to get pushed. Now, if it's a running play and you want to get in and,
Yeah.
and
Well,
get
I
it
think
forward,
wasn't that there was a time that wasn't around. At least it was in college because remember.
I remember
Brady
there being
Quinn.
a rule about it.
Yeah, there's Quinn, but there was also I think Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that happened too.
yeah, that was in that game. That's what I.
Wasn't
That
it the
was the play I was thinking
2005
of.
national championship? Or
Well,
they
it wasn't the it was the Notre Dame USC game
Oh, is that what it was?
because USC was going to lose.
Wasn't that the same year though? Was that the
Well,
same year?
that
as
was the game.
Oh,
that happened.
okay, yeah. All
Because
right, yeah.
I remember
Right.
watching that because I wanted USC to lose because Ohio State was like in 5 or something.
Yeah. So I know there's a time that you couldn't do that, and I would assume it would have been the same in the NFL.
I think you should.
That just switched. That rule just changed not that long ago.
No,
That you could push.
that you
that
could
you could
push.
push.
I think it's stupid.
I don't like.
I don't like it on a sneak. I think it should
It
be.
fucks over a defense. Like
Yeah, it does.
4th and 1, you should take an actual risk going for it.
Right. I agree with that. I don't like it at all. Gatorade color for Kansas City was purple. Only the 3rd time that purple has appeared in the last 20 years
Well,
for the
black
winning team.
quarterbacks, it had to be purple.
Well,
Woo!
They preached on it.
So, 20 years. You could only bet it since 2019 was the first time you're actually able to bet it, but they kept record of that all the way back.
What Jesse said. Oh, shouldn't have had that candy bar. Oh yeah, that was after the first series too.
right.
Like, how are you that hungry already? You just
Who was it?
Boyd said Jason Kelsey shouldn't have that candy bar.
Oh,
Yeah, you walked out of the tunnel 9 minutes ago.
Right,
How are you
right.
hungry already?
I mean, unless you just don't want to have anything in your stomach at the time of game time. I mean, I don't know.
You might have
but
thrown it up, honestly.
Yeah, you might have.
In the Super Bowl.
It could have been.
Well,
It could
that
have
is
been.
like a 4-hour event.
Oh, I know.
but after the first fucking drive,
Series,
Yeah.
It
Was
is
it?
He's got to keep that weight up, though.
Was it a candy bar or power bar?
It was a power bar.
it
Okay.
had to be.
All right.
Or Three
Or a
Musketeers.
fucking Reese's Fast Food.
Gigantic. What if he came out there was like
King
a?
size.
It was a Willy Wonka like Squishalicious.
Or he's just eating those
He
like
just pulls
giant
it out-
Hershey bars.
Pulls it out of his jock and just smells it a little bit, and then just starts popping it in there.
Melded.
I can't snap the ball. I got fucking chocolate all over me.
Now do you realize that he had a golden ticket in it?
Is that a shit?
All right, going to this is what I was talking about, Brandon. You could bet the anytime the field goal doink.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
That's not very good odds either.
no, well, plus 2,200 is
Unless it's Cody
still
Parkey.
better than right. Paid out plus 2,200. 96% of the bets was on yes, which of course that's going to happen because you've got public bettors. They're going to bet on long shots.
Oh yeah.
They're betting $5 or $10.
There's probably not even. Is there even a no option?
Oh yeah, there was a no.
So it's probably,
there was a no,
it's
but
minus 3,000.
it was.
So you have to.
Excuse me.
Bet 3,000.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I mean, when you're looking at that, and you got some public bettor in there who puts $5 in to win 83 cents.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go ahead and throw the $5 on this.
Yeah, those are all